Listen close. Your endocrine system is currently a crime scene, and you are the primary victim of a silent biological heist. While you sit there, scrolling with a spine curved like a question mark, your Leydig cells, testosterone producers, are effectively on strike. This isn't just feeling tired. This is a testosterone blackout. By the end of this broadcast, you will understand the precise molecular mechanics of your castration by convenience, and more importantly, the brutal protocol to restart your internal furnace. If you disconnect now, you accept your role as a biological placeholder. Stay, and we recode your dominance. Look at your hands. If they are soft, pale, and trembling slightly from a caffeine-induced spike, you are already losing. In the prehistoric era, a male with your current hormonal profile wouldn't have survived the first winter. You would have been the one left behind while the pack moved toward the hunt. Today, your hunt is a digital screen, and your predator is a plastic bottle containing endocrine disruptors, chemicals that mimic hormones. Your body is confused. It thinks it's a female in a state of constant low-grade inflammation. Your face is losing its structural definition. That puffiness isn't weight, it's a lack of androgenic signaling. You're becoming soft, blurred, and easily managed. The modern world is a sterile cage designed to produce docile livestock. Think about a silverback gorilla in a zoo compared to one in the jungle. The zoo gorilla gets fed on time, has no rivals, and no threats. Result? His muscle mass drops, his sperm count plummets, and he develops the vacant stare of the defeated. You are that gorilla, but your cage is made of Wi-Fi signals and processed sugar. Every time you choose the elevator over the stairs, every time you eat food that comes in a crinkling plastic wrapper, you are sending a signal to your brain. I am safe. I am weak. I do not need to fight. And your brain, being a master of efficiency, shuts down the production of the very fuel that makes you a man. Your boss yells at you, and you feel that cold knot in your stomach. That's not respect. That's a cortisol spike swallowing your remaining testosterone. In the animal kingdom, the beta wolf exposes its throat to the alpha to avoid conflict. When you look at the floor while being reprimanded, you are performing the same submissive ritual. You are bleeding power through your pores. The sweat on your forehead isn't from hard work. It's the greasy, acidic discharge of a nervous system that has forgotten how to handle confrontation. You are an apex predator living on a diet of apologies and soy-based additives. Statistics show that the average male today has 25% less testosterone than a man of the same age just 2 decades ago. You are literally a quarter less of a man than your father was at your age. This is a systemic failure. The water you drink is tainted with microplastics that act as estrogen mimetics, substances that mimic female hormones. Your bed is too soft, your room is too warm, and your life is too easy. Your ancestors slept on hard ground, their skin scarred by the elements, their blood thick with the adrenaline of the chase. They didn't have burnout, they had survival. You have comfort, and it is killing your spirit. Visualize the caveman tracking a wounded bison for 3 days. He is hungry, cold, and exhausted. Yet his testosterone is peaking. Why? Because the challenge demands it. Biology rewards the struggle. Now look at yourself. You get annoyed when the delivery app takes 40 minutes. That minor inconvenience triggers the same stress response that a leopard would, but without the physical outlet. You are a pressure cooker with a sealed valve. The internal heat is cooking your organs, turning your drive into anxiety and your ambition into a dull ache in your lower back. You are being farmed for your attention and your compliance. A man with high testosterone is difficult to control. He asks questions. He takes risks. He demands space. The system doesn't want that. It wants a consumer who is just energized enough to work, but too depleted to rebel. Your exhaustion is a feature of the design, not a bug in your hardware. You are being biologically steered toward mediocrity. Every like you chase on social media provides a cheap dopamine hit that replaces the deep, satisfying glow of a real-world victory. You are a tiger chasing a laser pointer in a room with no exit. Your body is a temple that has been turned into a warehouse for cheap fuel and toxic waste. The gray tint of your skin, the dark circles under your eyes, the way your breath hitches when you walk up a flight of stairs. These are the logs of your physical decay. You are rotting from the inside out because the fire has gone out. Without the androgenic spark, your muscles atrophy, your bones weaken, and your mind becomes a fog of indecision. You are a ghost inhabiting a failing machine. Accept the diagnosis. The smell of stale air and recycled sweat in your room isn't just an atmosphere. It's the physical scent of your metabolic surrender. Your skin has a translucent, sickly quality, a literal map of cellular neglect where your mitochondria, energy producers, are misfiring. You are witnessing the slow-motion collapse of your own biological architecture. Every second you spend in this state of optimized comfort, your genetic code is being overwritten by a script of submissiveness. This is the era of the chemical eunuch. In the next few minutes, I will provide the bypass codes for this systemic shutdown. If you choose to ignore this, you are simply confirming your status as a disposable unit. Observe your posture. Your shoulders are rolled forward, protecting your vital organs like a cornered prey animal. In the wild, a scavenger, like a hyena, waits for the lion to leave before it dares to eat. It lives on scraps and stays low to the ground. By sitting in that ergonomic chair, avoiding physical strain, you are adopting the hyena's frequency. You are training your nervous system to be a recipient, not a commander. Your ancestors didn't have lower back pain because their spines were forged in the tension of the spear throw and the heavy lift. Your pain is the scream of a structure that has no purpose. Your daily routine is a series of micro-castrations. You wake up to a digital alarm, a synthetic stressor, and immediately flood your brain with blue light, inhibiting your natural melatonin cycle. Your breakfast is a collection of processed grains and hidden sugars that spike your insulin, which in turn suppresses your gonadotropin-releasing hormone, the master switch for testosterone. You are literally eating your own masculinity before 9 a.m. A primitive hunter would wake up in the cold, his blood thick with growth hormones triggered by fasting and the anticipation of the kill. You wake up in a heated box, reaching for a screen to see who liked your digital shadow. Look at the interaction with your social circle. When you agree to plans you don't like, or when you laugh at a joke that isn't funny just to fit in, you are performing a submissive display. It is the human equivalent of a dog rolling onto its back to show its belly. Each time you prioritize likability over truth, your testosterone levels take a measurable hit. The brain interprets social cowardice as a lack of status, and it adjusts your hormonal output to match your low-ranking behavior. You are biologically demoting yourself to ensure your safety in the herd. The plastic in your life is a slow-acting poison. Bisphenol A, BPA, and phthalates are everywhere. In your water bottles, your receipts, your food packaging. These are endocrine disruptors that bind to your estrogen receptors. You are quite literally being feminized by your environment. Your body is receiving a constant stream of female signals while your male signals are drowned out by the noise of modern life. This is why your jawline is blurring and your drive is evaporating. You aren't finding yourself. You are losing your chemical foundation to a sea of industrial waste. In the Paleolithic era, a man's worth was measured by his utility to the tribe. If he couldn't hunt, protect, or build, he was a liability. Nature has no room for liabilities. Today, the tribe is a global marketplace that rewards your passivity. The more passive you are, the more you consume. The more you consume, the weaker you become. It is a perfect feedback loop of depletion. You are being domesticated like a farm animal, bred for maximum yield and minimum resistance. Your burnout is just the sound of a high-performance engine being forced to run on low-grade sludge. The testosterone blackout isn't an accident. It's a byproduct of a world that fears your potential. A man with an optimized hormonal profile is a disruption to the status quo. He doesn't settle for good enough. He doesn't accept the new normal. He is a threat to the stability of a system built on compliance. By reclaiming your biology, you aren't just improving your health. You are performing an act of rebellion. You are choosing to exit the livestock pens and return to the high-stakes game of the predator. Your body is currently an inefficient vessel for a suppressed spirit. The lack of physical resistance in your life has turned your muscles into decorative tissue and your willpower into a flickering candle. The darkness you feel isn't depression. It's the absence of the androgenic fire that should be illuminating your path. You have become a spectator in your own life, watching the high-status players from the sidelines while your own clock ticks down toward biological irrelevance. Reclaim your fire. The air in your living space is saturated with microscopic plastic particles and electromagnetic noise, a silent chemical soup that is currently rewriting your DNA. Your endocrine system isn't just low, it's being hijacked. Every time you touch a thermal receipt or drink from a plastic bottle, you're inviting xenoestrogens, chemicals that mimic female hormones, to occupy the receptors meant for your strength. Your body is losing its grip on its own blueprint. You're transitioning from a biological engine of conquest to a soft, permeable sponge for industrial waste. This is the third stage of the testosterone blackout, the transition from man to resource. Observe your social interactions. When your girlfriend or your wife tests your boundaries, and you provide a defensive, stuttering explanation, you are performing the appeasement gesture of a subordinate chimpanzee. In a troop, the low-ranking male avoids eye contact and makes himself small to avoid the wrath of the dominant. By playing it safe to avoid an argument, you are sending a chemical signal to your brain that you are a beta. Your testes respond by lowering production. Why waste fuel on a machine that refuses to drive? You are biologically confirming your own irrelevance to the gene pool. Your work-life balance is a euphemism for your domestication. In the prehistoric era, there was no off switch. Survival was a 24-hour high-stakes game. The constant presence of potential predators kept the androgenic system in a state of ready alert. Today, your biggest threat is an email from a manager or a late fee. Your nervous system is confused. It triggers a massive cortisol, stress hormone spike, spike for a trivial event. And since you don't physically fight or run, that cortisol sits in your blood, eating your testosterone like acid. You are a biological Ferrari being used to crawl through heavy traffic in a school zone. Look at your reflection in a darkened screen. That soft layer of fat around your midsection isn't just extra weight. It's a glandular organ. Adipose tissue, body fat, contains an enzyme called aromatase, which actively converts what little testosterone you have left into estrogen. You are literally a self-contained factory for your own castration. The more comfortable and fed you become, the more your body prepares you for a life of sedentary compliance. You are losing the V taper of the predator and adopting the O shape of the prey. Ancient tribesmen would undergo grueling rites of passage, fasting, cold exposure, physical scarring to earn their place as men. These weren't just rituals, they were biological resets. The extreme discomfort forced the body to prioritize survival and dominance. Your rite of passage is choosing which streaming service to pay for. You have replaced the struggle of the hunt with the convenience of the scroll. Your dopamine receptors are fried by constant low-effort rewards, leaving you with zero drive to pursue actual difficult goals. You are a hunter who has forgotten how to track. Your environment is designed to keep you in a state of low-grade inflammation. The sugar in your diet, the lack of sunlight on your skin, and the constant sitting are all signals to your body that the hunt is over and it's time to rot. In the wild, an animal that stops moving is either sick or dying. Nature doesn't waste resources on the dying. It shuts down the expensive systems, like muscle maintenance and reproductive drive, to save energy for the inevitable end. You are living in a state of biological standby mode, waiting for a command that never comes. The testosterone blackout is the ultimate tool of social control. A man with optimized hormones is a monolith. He is stable, focused, and impossible to manipulate through fear or cheap pleasure. The system prefers you blurred. It wants you tired, anxious, and seeking comfort in products. By reclaiming your hormonal sovereignty, you are breaking the invisible leash. You are moving from the livestock category back into the operator category. This is not about fitness. It is about the restoration of your primary directive. Your current state is a betrayal of 3 billion years of evolutionary success. You are the descendant of survivors, warriors, and explorers who endured unimaginable hardship to pass their code to you. And here you are, vibrating with anxiety because your Wi-Fi is slow. The void you feel inside is the ghost of your potential, screaming for the friction of reality. It's time to stop being a consumer of your own decay and start being the architect of your resurrection. Restart the furnace. The blue light from your screen is currently suppressing your pineal gland, signaling to your brain that the sun never sets, keeping your cortisol, stress hormone, in a state of permanent corrosive elevation. Your body is a biological clock that has been smashed with a hammer. You are vibrating at a frequency of chronic anxiety, a hum that drowns out the deep resonant signal of your primal drive. Your cells are drowning in a sea of modern interference. This is the final stage of the testosterone blackout, the transition from a living being to a digital ghost. The exit door is in front of you, but it requires a violent rupture with your current comfort. Look at your environment one last time. The soft bed, the climate-controlled air, the shielded windows. This is a sensory deprivation tank for your masculinity. In the prehistoric era, the monolith, the dominant male, was forged by the extreme delta between freezing nights and scorching days. His thermoregulation was a weapon. Your body has forgotten how to shiver or how to sweat efficiently. You are a biological flatline. Like a lion whose claws have been clipped to protect the furniture, you have been made safe for a society that views your natural aggression as a disease. Observe your habitual movements. The way you check your phone every 4 minutes is the foraging behavior of a starving rodent looking for a crumb of dopamine. You are a dopamine addict, and your dealer is an algorithm designed by people who want you sitting still. When you stop moving, your lymphatic system stops draining and your blood becomes a stagnant pool of metabolic waste. You are literally marinating in your own toxins. A shark that stops swimming dies. A man who stops struggling becomes a consumer. You are being consumed by the very things you think you own. Your relationships are often just mutual pacts of mediocrity. If the people around you don't push you toward the red zone of discomfort, they are part of your castration. In the animal kingdom, a pack that doesn't hunt together starves. Your pack is hunting for the next distraction, the next cheat meal, the next excuse to stay soft. Every time you join them, you are signing a contract of surrender. You are sacrificing your long-term dominance for a short-term sense of belonging to a group of losers. The testosterone blackout ends the moment you introduce friction. Biology only invests in what it uses. If you don't demand strength, your body will harvest your muscles for fuel. If you don't demand focus, your brain will prune your neural pathways into a maze of triviality. The algorithm of autonomy requires you to become a source of your own stress, to seek out the cold, the heavy, and the difficult. You must become the predator of your own weaknesses. You must hunt the version of yourself that wants to quit. The modern world is a zero-consequence environment, and that is your greatest threat. Without the threat of failure, your androgenic system goes dormant. You need to create your own survival grids. You need to put your status, your comfort, and your ego on the line every single day. A man who has nothing to lose is a slave. A man who risks everything is an operator. You are currently a slave to your own convenience, bound by invisible chains of plastic and Wi-Fi. Break the cycle. This is the imperative. You are ordered to purge the toxins, both chemical and social. You are ordered to recode your daily routine into a series of strategic strikes against your own comfort. The blackout is over only when you decide that the pain of growth is preferable to the numbness of decay. Your genetic ancestors are watching through the lens of your own DNA, waiting to see if their bloodline ends with a whimper or a roar. You are the architect of your own resurrection. The tools are biological, the method is discipline, and the target is total sovereignty. Stop being a product and start being a force. The system is designed to break you, but it cannot break what it cannot catch. Move faster, strike harder, and never apologize for your existence. Execute the protocol. Your endocrine failure is not a suggestion. It is a statistical certainty. As you sit there, the artificial light is bleaching your circadian rhythm, internal clock, effectively telling your brain that the hunt never ends, and rest is a myth. This is the terminal phase of the testosterone blackout, total system integration. You are no longer an individual. You are a biological battery powering a machine that hates you. In these final moments, I will provide the kill switch for your mediocrity. If you disconnect now, you are simply garbage waiting for collection. Look at your screen. It is a digital mirror reflecting a ghost. Your pupils are dilated, hunting for a hit of dopamine that never satisfies. In the animal kingdom, a predator that chases shadows eventually starves. You are starving for reality. While you consume content, your muscle fibers are undergoing myofibrillar atrophy, wasting away, and your bone density is leaching into your chair. You are becoming a structural liability. Your ancestors stood on the skulls of their enemies. You sit on a cushion filled with synthetic foam and broken promises. The social contract you signed is a suicide note for your ambition. Every time you say it's okay to a person who disrespects you, your hypothalamus, brain's control center, registers a loss in rank. It throttles your androgenic output to prevent you from starting a fight you've already lost mentally. You are chemically lobotomizing your own courage. A lone wolf that cannot defend its territory is driven out to die in the cold. You are being driven out of your own life by 1,000 tiny concessions. Your comfort is a sensory deprivation tank. In the primordial world, the monolith was tempered by the delta between survival and extinction. His skin was leather. Yours is a thin, porous membrane, absorbing toxins from your laundry detergent and your cheap cologne. You have traded your visual rage, raw physical power, for a visual blur, soft domestic safety. You are a lion in a circus, jumping through hoops for the applause of people who wouldn't survive a day in your natural habitat. The blackout ends when you introduce the red line, maximum physical stress. Biology only invests in what is essential for survival. If you don't lift heavy, run until your lungs burn, and face the cold until your teeth chatter, your body assumes the war is over. It shuts down the expensive machinery of masculinity. You must become a voluntary victim of your own discipline. You must hunt the version of you that wants to relax. Relaxation is for the dead. The living move or they rot. This is the imperative. You are ordered to purge the soft code from your hardware. No more excuses, no more tomorrow. The clock is leaking and your genetic window is closing. You are the result of 3 billion years of apex survival. Stop acting like a manufacturing error. The system wants you quiet, tired, and compliant. Disappoint them. Become a technical grade human, sharp, cold, and utterly autonomous. The testosterone blackout is a choice. Every meal, every movement, and every thought is a vote for your resurrection or your burial. You have been given the blueprint. You have been given the activation codes. The collar of freedom is heavy, but it is better than the leash of the livestock. Move now, or accept your role as a footnote in a history written by men who actually dared to bleed. The monolith does not ask for permission. He takes space. He commands attention. He enforces his will upon a world made of soft, yielding clay. Your life is the clay. Your discipline is the strike. Execute the protocol.